Yo, what's going on, everyone? It's Brian and Jim here, drink a beer and play a game, and today we are doing a very long overdue review of Body Harvest on the N64.
Yes, this game is notorious in a lot of ways. This game is groundbreaking in a lot of ways. This game's a lot of things. But what this also is a Patreon request from our good buddy JD Mains. Thank you so much, JD. I think.
You sure picked a unique one, I'll say that.
Yep, sure did. Let's get into it.
Goddamn Brits.
Originally released in September 30th, 1998 in Europe, this game is an N64 exclusive. It was developed by DMA Design, who went on to be Rockstar North, who went on to make GTA 3. And it was published by, well, it kind of depends on where you get it. In America, it was published by Midway, and in Europe, it was published by Gremlin Interactive, whoever that is. No one cares. It was published by Midway. So, in this game, you play the role of Adam Drake, a genetically engineered super soldier who has to save the Earth from an invading alien insect bug monster force every 25 years. So basically, you go through 5 stages set 20 years apart, go through 100 years of history, and you keep saving humanity. It's actually really cool. And the cutscene, especially in the very beginning of the game, is like awesome, especially for an N64. This game had a horrific development cycle. This was supposed to be a launch game. It didn't live up to its promises. It came out 3 to 4 years after the fact of development. Yeah, it's a mess. There's other people who made better videos on it than we could, so go check those out. But long story short, it eventually came out, and yeah, everyone calls it the grandpappy to GTA 3, and we're going to tell you why. The graphics. Ooh, this is quite the mixed bag. So, for the most part, you will be going from area to area, world to world, time frame to time frame, and it's cool. It's cool to see ancient Greece. It's cool to see a rainforest. It's cool to see like mid-50s Americana. You even end the game on a friggin' meteor. The settings are pretty damn cool. And there is enemy variety. I think you have like 30 some enemies in the game total. Some of them are reskins, but it's nice to see that kind of variety. But there's problems here. One big one with an N64 is the low draw distance, as you have to expect. There's not, the Fog of War is, it's like any other N64 game. You only can see a couple hundred feet in front of you. It is what it is. It isn't like Turok bad, but it definitely isn't pushing the N64's limits in any way whatsoever. And speaking of this fog is going to reveal a whole lot of nothing about 90% of the time. Because this is an open world game, and this is a very early one, especially in 3D. So, there's not a lot of population. You'll be going and hitting little spurts of civilization, little towns, little activities to do, certainly hot spots for the game, and certain battle spots. But outside of that, there's just a lot of traversing open areas, open fields, open forests, open mountains, what have you. And then there's the performance of the game, and it's kind of all over the map. When the game first starts, you see that opening cutscene, it's pushing between 30 and 60 frames, and you're like, man, this is kind of cool looking. Then you get to the gameplay itself, and you're struggling to hit 20. And that's not including the later levels of the game, where by that point, all you're doing to survive is just moving and shooting and blowing crap up. So it is chugging along. And there's so many explosions, you can't even enjoy the settings or the enemy designs, which is a real downer. So to wrap it all up, Brian gave it a 4, I gave it a 5. I guess I appreciated what they were going for a little bit more, but Brian also played more of it, so yeah, you could probably trust his score a little bit more on this one. And when it comes to beers, I'll give it 2 beers. One good one for all the variety, and one sad one for having that variety wasted on the N64. The sound. Again, they tried. So, this is the N64, so as you know, you're not going to be getting a ton of voice samples in this game. And in this one, you basically get none. You get the screams of people as they're being killed, you get the sound effects of enemies, and they're all basic insecty sounds. There's some variety in the weapon sounds, but it's kind of negligible. Some have more boom than others, some are faster, and they sound a little bit different here and there, but it's nothing where you're going to be like, oh man, they really put some effort into this one. And that also kind of transfers to the vehicles, whether it's boats or cars, motorcycles, tanks, or planes, or submarines. Everything just kind of sounds faster and slower, and that's where the variety just kind of ends. Some can sound a little more metallic than others, some can sound like a little bit more jalopy-ish, for lack of a better word. But yeah, it's there, but it's not. And that kind of goes into the music too, because the music isn't bad. It's perfectly atmospheric. A lot of it won't be sticking in your head at all. It's good background noise, but there's not a ton of variety, and especially the boss fights are almost all the same. But it's just another thing where it's this is good, but it just could have been so much better. So, it's completely middle of the road. So we both gave it 5s. And when it comes to beer, I would just add 1, because I can't be too mad at it, but I can't be too happy with it. So it's all right, I guess I'll just drink my way to the next category.
The control. Well, most of you already know my feelings on the N64 controller, as it is one of the worst designed of all time.
Bitch!
But here's the deal. I'll give this game, let me do a little compliment sandwich for it, Jim. First of all, let me say that this game does utilize almost every button, which is kind of rare, because a lot of games tend to steer away from those annoying-ass C buttons and all that. So, okay, I'll give it kudos for that. But let's take a look at what you can actually do with the control. So, when you look at this game, there's 2 main modes you're going to be. On foot and in a vehicle. Now, in the vehicles, what I will say is, for the most part, it controls fine. Depending on the vehicle you have, you may be a little more fast, you may be sluggish. The turning can be very, very odd, because on some of these, there's this added momentum that makes it feel like you're on ice, and then others, it's like you're trudging through mud the entire time. And that translates to also when you're on sea in some of these boats or submarines, or even when you're flying planes, all the way up to that jet fighter, which I did love using, but my God, if you needed to miss a target, going around can take absolutely forever. Where the real problem comes in this game is when you need to be on foot. And I'll get a lot more detailed when we get to gameplay, but there are a lot of sections where you need to do puzzles or go into buildings, and I don't care how hard you hold down that analog stick, it looks like he's running with a full shit in his pants. It is so goddamn slow. And to use any controls, whether it be a lever, turning on a light, or opening chests, and for some reason, getting gasoline and health out of barrels of water, you have to be at the most pixel perfect thing, and you have to hit the button a certain way. I know it sounds odd, but it's not quite a complete hold down the button, and it's not just a tap of the button. It's very odd. Even when I got to the end stages, I never got it down. So there's just this big disconnect with those 2 styles. And as Jim said, this was a terrible development cycle. And this game went from being a action, open world kind of, sandbox we're used to GTA, to Nintendo coming in and saying, make it more like an RPG. But I'm kind of just going off on a tangent here. The other big part of this game is you are going to be shooting shit, and you're going to be shooting it a lot. Now, for a game with auto-aim, some people may hate it. That's one of the areas that saves this game, because there will be enemies flying above you in the distance, or you might just not see them on your screen depending on which camera angle you're using, and it can really save you. On the few times you do have to manually aim, it harkens ideas back to GoldenEye, where you have to hold down the R shoulder button, and it's just slow as hell to move, but it is necessary to do on boss fights and some of the flying enemies that you can't quite auto-lock onto. While you can get through this game, the walking, the preciseness of where you need to use items, and the just trying to go through your inventory with the D-pad, which that D-pad sucks on the N64. And I'm sorry, that was a terrible idea. You should have mapped it to a different button. I couldn't give this above a 4. Jim gave it a 5. As Jim said, I dealt with it a lot more. So yes, I got over it and I got used to the control, but it never got any better. It was really, really annoying. So when it comes to beer, I'm adding 4 beers. all the goddamn punishment I went through with this game. The gameplay. Well, I already hit on a lot of the big differences you're going to experience when you're playing this game, because you have those walking, going through caves or building sections, and then the drive around the map. You do get 5 different levels, and the first is Greece, the second is Java, then you have America, Siberia, and this alien meteor, which is the alien kind of like main headquarters, if you will. Each map does offer a different variety of looks. So in Greece, it looks like ancient Greece, even though it's really, I believe it's in the 20s or the 10s, the 1910s. I can't remember the exact timetable. But they do try to mix in some Greek mythology. And let me just spoil a lot for you guys. If you want to find the best weapon in the entire game, get the shield that does the sun ray, because that thing just eliminates so many goddamn bugs so quickly. That is one of the few reasons why you will want to hop out of your vehicle just to use that thing. It is so goddamn cool. But outside of that, every level does have its own unique weapons, even though towards the later levels, the rifle is the same kind of rifle as it is from the previous levels. The machine gun is almost always the same. There is a shotgun, but each level does have a special unique weapon. But go back to what I just said. Greece is by far the best. And as you go from town to town, your goals are hit the certain checkpoint with a generator, defeat the boss bug there, and then that is your save points. And that is where we get to the first biggest issue I have with this goddamn game, which is the save points are entirely too far apart from each other. Each level can have anywhere from 4 to 5 different save points. And on average, I would say it takes at least a half hour to get to each save point. Unless you really know what you're doing or you're using cheats, maybe you'll get there a little faster, but still, it's going to take you a while. And if you make one goddamn mistake, which you will in this game, not only from the difficult enemies, but if you're going up a mountain and slide down the side and fall into lava, you're dead. This guy, Adam Drake, he can single-handedly shoot a little mini laser gun, take down these giant harvester aliens, but the motherfucker can't swim for more than 10 seconds because he drowns. So that'll send you back to the beginning again. It's so aggravating and soul-crushing. The number of times I would be right near a generator station and just die from something like that really kills this game. And it's a common complaint from anyone who plays. But once you do get into a groove and you do know where you need to go, then you also need to overcome the little secrets they like to throw in there. Because this game tries to be an RPG, and it makes you talk to certain folks, but you can only get to certain folks when you unlock secrets, or blow up secret passages to get to them, or hit certain levers. There's always a puzzle element, and sometimes they're very cryptic, sometimes they're extremely obvious. But it's usually find this person, get item, return to area, use item, unlock next area. Rinse and repeat. You're going to do that through a lot of levels. And as you go through each level, you will get these kind of pop-up enemies that you just need to wipe out. And then in the middle of all that, every so often, you get the harvester that comes down. Now this is this giant-ass alien that comes down and poops out these little blobs that eat people. And if they eat too many people, you got this little meter right there, then you can lose the level. So if you got through 4 or 5 save points and you didn't save enough people, you're almost always never going to be able to complete the level, which goes back to this game is a goddamn pain in the dick. Let's say you get through all these pieces and you get to the final boss. The first boss, I'm not going to lie, kind of easy. The later bosses that have multiple stages to them, they are not easy, so good luck, because the vehicle you're in can get destroyed and then you're on foot and you might as well just restart because you're not going to beat them that way. With all that being said, if you manage to stick through this game, you'll be greeted with a semi M. Night Shyamalan style reveal. I don't want to reveal it for you, but you get a little twist ending. Kind of cool, and as Jim said, the story is probably the strongest thing in this game. I know this game had a lot of potential, but my god did it fall apart in the execution. The most fun you will have is when you are blasting apart these aliens, but man, when you have to have those slowdown moments of getting out and exploring shit, it kills it. So when it comes to score, we both gave it 4s. I actually really considered giving it a 3. It was only because this game is one of those nice games that has very easy cheats to put in, and some of them are actually really goofy, which can actually make the game more fun. But my God, I know what they tried to go for. It's just so poorly executed. So when it comes to beer, I'm going to add 3, because this one, you got to be drunk to enjoy at all.
The originality. I mean, we've said this a bunch of times up to this point. This is the granddaddy of GTA 3. So, have there been other open world games before this? Yeah. Have there even kind of been 3D-ish ones, if you want to count like old Elder Scrolls and stuff on the computer? Sure. But for a home console, there was basically nothing like this. And it led to greater things. It was just a rough path to get there. So, with that being said, Brian gave it a 7 and I gave it an 8. And when it comes to beer, I'm going to add 3 beers for GTA 3.
Alright, the replayability I can keep really short because there is only one ending to this game, but I already mentioned it is a hard son of a bitch. And even though we keep calling it an open world, because you have those generator stations, it is kind of linear, so you can't really just do whatever you want. I guess the replayability could come in if you want to challenge yourself by trying to use different vehicles, finding all those special weapons by finding alien artifacts, which unlock those super weapons, even using the cheat codes, which once again, some of them make the enemies stronger. There's a lot of things that you could do if you want to give yourself another run at the game. But if you're a masochist and you ever play this more than twice, I don't know what's wrong with you, turn yourself in. So when it comes to scores, I gave it a 4, Jim gave it a 3. And when it comes to beer, I'm only going to add 1 because this is one of those games you only need to play once, and then you can finally say, I played or beat Body Harvest. So overall, Jim, I had the displeasure of going through this entire game. And truth be told, I mentioned a little bit in the gameplay, with all the shitty bullshit deaths you have to deal with, I gave myself a rule. If I died 3 times on the same level, I'm just going to use a cheat code. And guess what? Even with the cheat codes, I died many times from those same bullshitty deaths. So this is a game that is not easy by any means. From every review I've ever looked up of it, why do the Brits love terrible shit? They like Donkey Kong 64 in this game. I don't get it. I don't understand why this is so beloved. And
Too much Marmite? Too much warm beer?
I don't know.
Stuck on an island? Too much smoke?
It's one of those deals where I look at it and I'm like, I love me some Starship Troopers, and this has some vibes like that. But my God, it is just not a good game. It was a game I, as a kid, never played, always wanted to because it's an awesome cover. But man, is it deceptive. So, yeah, I guess I'm glad I finally got to play it, but it was tough to get through, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I did not play it nearly as much as Brian did, so thank you, Move. Thank you for bailing me out on this one. But, yeah, I mean, even what I did play, I was like, this is frustrating. Brian mentioned it. I have to reiterate it. This save system. No excuse. No excuse. The smartest thing the GTA ever did was to save houses. When you look at the evolution from this to GTA 3, the save houses changes the entire game. Because that's rough to go back to, but we're talking the 25-year-old game at this point. This though, woo mama. This is, I mean, just a hit detection. Just trying to hit that right pixel to get in a boat and not drown in time. Oh my God. Besides the mad rush to the harvesters, besides everything else. It's a cool idea. I wish I could have done what they wanted to do. 1,000 reasons that they couldn't. But what we have is what we have. And Brian, why don't we tell the good people what the final score is?
So we both gave it 4s, but when we combined all of our scores together, it comes out to a 4.4. It's got ideas. It's not technically or visually the worst thing that N64 ever put out. But my God, the execution was so poor. And yeah, I mean, Jim, if I was going to give a number to this, if you were ever going to buy it for whatever reason, please don't spend more than $10 on it.
Good luck with that.
So don't buy it.
Yeah, don't buy it.
But JD, we do want to say thank you so much. We finally got your review in between Jim's move and this pain in the ass game. Glad to say we got this one done. So thank you for your support, and thank you everyone who watched the review. With that, we want to say have a good night, everyone, and cheers.
Cheers, everybody.
When it comes to beer pairing, I'm going to go with the Southern Tier Brewing Company's Harvest Autumn IPA. This is a nice in-between of a pumpkin beer and an IPA because you get some of those cinnamon, nutmeg, more spicy flavors mixed in with an IPA. So if you're not sold on either style, it's a nice combination. Comes in at 6.7%. And you know what? For such an odd game, you need an odd beer. So get yourself a 6-pack, sit back, and enjoy. But remember to drink your beers and play your games responsibly.